Welcome back to another video, and this is my YesStyle haul. Welcome back, and as I've been talking in my couple of last videos, we are having my first ever YesStyle haul. So about YesStyle, it's an online store. I'm a bit now unsure. I should have maybe actually did some background work. I think it's either Korean or Chinese founded, but they do ship from China, or at least the products that I got from these definitely did ship from China. But they are known, especially here in the Western market, for the fact that they have there's usually pretty good discounts on the website, and especially what I see a lot of like Western influencers shopping from the site is either like Asian beauty products, so mainly skincare, but more and more makeup these days. I think initially the website was pretty known for the fact that people bought a lot of especially K-beauty skincare from the website because they do pretty good offers on that. They do, for example, bundle offers and such, which makes it actually very cost effective to order if you order a bigger bulk of product. But you can, like, from a lot of these Asian like online websites, you can they do sell clothes on the website, and there are like other category products. But with YesStyle, I think their most popular category for the Western shoppers is definitely like the beauty products, and now more and more these days also like makeup products. I think with initially a lot of people, and this is still like a risk, especially when you order things from online generally, especially I think Chinese like makeup brands used to have a pretty bad rap in the Western market for the fact that they were like a lot of straight out like counterfeit products, but that's like a whole different issue, because counterfeit products are obviously like illegal copies trying to like sell as the genuine product for a lot cheaper price point, but often they can be very dangerous. There can be like hazardous chemicals in there. But then just generally, but not only like counterfeit products, but generally like Asian, especially Chinese, for example, makeup products used to have this rap that okay, but even if they're not straight out copies or counterfeits, but they're still like maybe iffy and not as high quality. But I think on recent years this has maybe definitely changed, and it shows because we have now these days, for example, Flower Nose is a very hyped up Chinese based brand. They do this very extra packaging. I have done a Flower Nose haul and a review on my channel. You can find it on my channel, and where I went through my opinions, and definitely they have like especially the narrative that Chinese makeup is cheap. Well, especially with Flower Nose, I can at least say from experience they are not cheap. It's definitely very mid-range to even a bit more like pricier. And I think the same could be said about now the brands that I shopped from YesStyle. So I specifically wanted to focus on the C-beauty brands because those have been pretty much on the rise. I wanted to test out now myself what is the hype. Some C-beauty brands have done a lot of like also sponsorships on especially YouTube and social media. Flower Nose, as I discussed, has been one of them that there you see a lot of like sponsored content on. Florasis, which is also going to be featured in this one, they have seen a ton of like sponsored content on them. But there are also, I think aside from these two brands, you would have to like understand C-beauty is of course like wider. There is plenty of other products and brands on C-beauty, and especially what I wanted to focus on was the more like indie-esque brands. So in this video we have some Florasis, which I said has been doing like a lot of sponsored content on social media. I paid everything for this by myself. I will tell the day that if there comes a day when there's gonna be PR or gifted things in my channel, you will know about it, but everything here has been bought by myself. So we have some Florasis stuff. Then I bought some cheeryep, I think is how you're supposed to pronounce the name. And then I have some Girlcult, and cheeryep and Girlcult are the two like brands that are the more like indie-esque product, because the Florasis is definitely, they have branded themselves as this more like high-end, almost like luxurious. We will be talking when I'm gonna be showing and unpacking these, that how do I just based on the packaging feel that are we talking about this high-end luxury that you would maybe compare to like Western brands, to Chanel or Dior, for example, as brands. But I'm gonna be unpacking these by brand, and then because I'm now on summer holiday, I have a bit more time to do these. So usually you see swatches on my review videos, but what I'm actually gonna do is that I will be actually like putting the swatches already from when I'm showing the products, but I haven't swatched these by the time I'm filming, so I'm gonna be doing the swatches afterwards. So I can't tell now based on like just I'm just gonna be like giving my first thoughts just based on looking at them, and you will be then of course getting a full-on review later on. But that's a bit about the intro, and let's start actually like showing what kind of things I got from YesStyle. Okay, so first one, before we actually go to the products, a bit about the shipping. I'm gonna post the image about how this came. So These didn't come in a cardboard box, but considering just how much products I got, I ended up paying with a discount code. It was a bit over 150 euros, but because I used the discount, like this was the price with the discount. If I think without the discount we were somewhere around 170 or 80, but YesStyle does this a lot that you get a discount. But I think considering like how many products I got and for the price point, like yeah, maybe a cardboard box would have been nicer, but we got these plastic bags. But I'm happy to see and say, and as you can see from the images, we did have quite a lot of like bubble wrap around them, so everything came intact. I have already opened these to check that there was nothing broken, but everything came in one piece. So the packaging, not the most glamorous part of the experience, but I think for the price point and amount of products I got, I'm okay with that one. In terms of shipping time, surprisingly quick. So the shipping time that they said on the website, it could have been like almost 3 weeks if you count in the weekends in between. But actually my order, when they shipped out, it took just like a week, and we did have a public holiday in between, and there was a weekend between, and it still took like within a week. So I actually think that this was a relatively like quick shipping, especially when you compare to the flower nose that makeup that I tried, I think during, was it beginning of this year or last year? But with the flower nose, I did discuss in the video that the shipping, it took forever. Compared to like that one, this was very fast. The only like minus point that I'm gonna give them is that they have within the product, so if you have shopped within YesStyle, they have like this shipping times, and I picked out products that all had the label that they would ship within 24 hours of ordering, because I thought that I want the products as fast as I'm able to get them. And even if I had all the products in my cart being products that they said that should ship within 24 hours, it still took a couple of days for the actual packages to ship from their warehouses from when I ordered. So if you see the labels where they say that could ship from 24 hours, it can still take a few days to actually for them to be shipped out. So that's just something to consider, and that's the like only minus thing that I'm gonna say, because if you are advertising for me that the shipping will be 24 hours from the purchase, then I'm kind of expecting that is a promise that you can kind of like keep. But still, even if I did have to wait for the couple of days to things to start like moving after they did ship, it was like pretty quick considering that these came from China. Now, what are we gonna start with? Let's maybe actually start from the Florasis, because this is probably the, aside from Flower Nose, this has been the C-beauty brand that has been gotten a lot of like sponsorship posts. And sponsorship posts as such, these are like, there's nothing wrong with them. Definitely, I understand that people here, especially if people try to earn money from YouTube, they have to make do. And a sponsorship post, they don't necessarily mean that people are biased about the product, but with some people it can affect them. So I'm always very curious when I see a brand that is doing a lot of sponsored content with different creators. I'm always curious to like try that, okay, but what is it really like that, especially if I'm paying them for my customers. So first one is that I got a highlighter. So this is the Gentle Wave Aqua Glow highlighter, and this is in the shade 02 Peachy Fairytales. So the Florasis packaging in all of these products, it's just kind of this, it's cardboard packaging, but I'd say it's actually like quite nice feeling cardboard packaging. It doesn't feel like what I would say the most cheapest of ones. And then the product themselves. So first the highlighter. So this is how it's looking. This one component actually here, this very pretty. I would say that, yeah, gives a impression that it's a bit of a like higher end brand. However, this is quite of a light plastic, and this is not going to be the theme with all of these products. So is this feeling like the most of luxurious? Like, granted, okay, for example, Dior has been criticized quite rightfully in the Western market that their quints that are horrendously expensive come in a very cheap feeling black plastic packaging that's quite basic, similar to Chanel. So I would say that maybe the only thing where I would say that the price really shows like would be a comparison with Pat McGrath's like big eyeshadow palettes. Those feel definitely like very heavy, but those are 100 euros again. But I would say that considering that the price point, I think without the discount code, I think this was like somewhere a bit like around 20 or something euros or a bit under. So I do think like it is a very nice packaging design, but it is on the lighter side, so it's not like super heavy packaging if you're expecting that kind of experience. So this is how the highlighter is looking. As I said in the intro, I haven't swatched these. You will be seeing a swatch image somewhere in here of this one, like initial swatch, but so far I only have the like product itself, and this looks to be a bit on the deeper side, so let's see when I'm gonna be trying this out and we'll be able to blend this out, how is it actually gonna match with my skin tone, because now that I'm looking at this I am having some concerns that is it a bit too dark for me, but it still looks very pretty, and I would say that even though this is a lighter feeling packaging, I do like the design detail over here. Then I did get a lip gloss. Now Florasis is probably one of known for, aside from the embossing on their eyeshadow palettes that you're gonna be actually seeing soon, they are known for the lipsticks, and I think the lipsticks would have, if you have bought them in the very fancy case, those would have actually been pretty pricey, so I think the lipsticks even on YesStyle's website, and if you would have bought the like, not only the basic bullet but the very fancy cases that you have probably seen, those were like almost like 50 euros, but I actually bought a lip gloss from them, so which was this one? Celestial Luster lip gloss, and this is in 01 Dusty Mocha color. Now online I think I got this because this kind of looked like mauve, and it's gonna be a great mystery before I'm gonna be again watching this and trying this out, that how is it this gonna look my lip. Again, it's a bit like, it's a plastic packaging, it's a bit on the like lighter side, but I do actually, again, have to say it does have some nice details on it, so you kind of have something over here and you can kind of see the shade over here. I am going to get this out of the tube so you can kind of get a first impression of the color. How is it going to be looking like? This doesn't have any scent to it, which is actually maybe a good sign. There is actually one lip product that I'm going to be discussing with another brand, because one of the lip products I'm a bit having sus feelings about because of the scent of it. But this one has no scent. The packaging, it is quite of a nice. It does have a bit of a, like there is a bit of a pink sheen to this, but I don't think it's maybe obvious on the camera. So it is not just maybe a basic white packaging, there's a bit of like a pink reflect to it when you like, depending on the lighting conditions. So it's, I would say, again, quite of a nice packaging, and again, the price point of this one around, again, somewhere in the 20 euro mark full price. And then probably the big one, so I did get one of the eyeshadow palettes. These are the ones, aside from the very fancy lipsticks, these have been the things that have been like very much shown in their social media. So I got this was the Floral Engraving Phoenix makeup palette, and this is in the Burgundy Sunset. So I bought the palette that I think I criticized in one of my makeup news videos, that this was like Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk on steroids, and I was the one who ended up getting this, like getting this, even though I may have critiqued this previously for the color story, but you will soon gonna see why. So this is how the eyeshadow palette is looking. Again, it is like, I was maybe had thought based on what I have seen and how they advertised their brand, this would be a bit heavier. It's a nice plastic packaging, but it's definitely not a Pat McGrath mothership level like heavy acrylic packaging. This is a lighter plastic, but it's still like, I would say that the design, for example, again on the top, this is pretty cool looking, and considering that these are like around 40 euros, I would say it's pretty nice. However, what I do actually say that from the insides, this is actually like quite impressive. And when I said that this is like Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk on steroids, like this is, I'm not expecting to see too much variety with my eye look. So once this is going to be making it into the review phase, I will attempt to make 3 different kind of makeup looks, but we shall see just based on the color story that how realistic is that. But I do have to say, like, at least in the insides, I can kind of like see that this is actually looks pretty elevated. Like for me, this kind of looks cool. Is the embossings gonna last if you are, especially like if you end up using this as your everyday palette? At one point the embossings are gonna be gone once you use this, but I do think these seem to be like, they are like, I think they are gonna last a decent amount of time, but they are not gonna definitely last forever, especially if you use this daily. So I am expecting this to be like similar quality to maybe like some of like other like Western, like maybe luxury, like high-end brands, in terms of the fact that these are more satiny-like shades. So I'm not expecting anything super sparkly. We're gonna see an eyeshadow palette where you definitely get the more like indie super sparkly shadows. This is definitely gonna be more satin-like just based on looking at these ones. But I'm excited to try this one out, even though the looks can be quite monotone. But we shall see. Maybe this will surprise me and we will get some versatility. But overall, considering that this goes around 40 euros, like, yeah, as I said, it's not a very heavy acrylic pantograph level packaging, but of course this is like what under how, like this isn't like 100 euros or anything, and it is still very like nice packaging, and definitely I would say like still like more effort, like it's at least more unique compared to some of like Western luxury brands that, as I said, have been critiqued for the fact that they do this very basic black plastic packaging over and over again. Then let's go to the maybe more indie-esque brand. So Girlcult, this is a very, I have seen one of the Welsh brothers here on YouTube. I always get them mixed up because one of them does skincare reviews and one of them does makeup reviews, so I don't want to get wrong, but one of the Welsh brothers have featured especially this brand and have actually said that the quality is supposed to be very good. So this is from Girlcult, and you can see already there's a lot of like difference to the Florasis packaging. So with Florasis we got this like very, I would say, minimalistic white cardboard packaging. With Girlcult we're having something edgier already. First thing that I got from them was a face palette. So what is this? Okay, this has only Chinese text. The Florasis had, for example, English in it, but this is only in Chinese. So we're gonna do so that I'm just gonna list all the products to the description box, so if you want to like go and see them for yourself on the website, then it's easier to search for them. And so this, like, I will have to say this is quite cool. Like this, I would say that having tried a lot of indie products, this screams very indie-esque in terms of like the theming and the design. This is an all-over face palette, so there is a bronzer or a more like contour shade. Let's see when I'm gonna use that how cool tone that ends up being. We get a blush, and then there's highlighters, and we actually get some eyeshadows. I'm not expecting to get too many eyeshadow looks. I will attempt to do maybe 2 looks for the review part of this one, and then I'm gonna of course discuss about also the face shades. So I'm hoping it's gonna be good. As I said, we shall see them. Now that I'm looking at the bronzing contouring shade, I think the shade, it's gonna be more of a neutral bronzer on me. This is something that I have seen a lot of like especially people with a cool undertone saying that unfortunately with a lot of Asian beauty brands in the promo images, they advertise of things being cool toned, but then they end up being still neutral or very warm leaning. So for me, the middle shade in this one, it looks to be maybe something close to like Too Faced, something close to a Benefit Hoola bronzer. So for me, it's probably definitely going to be more of a bronzer shade rather than a contour shade. But for someone with a warm undertone buying this particular palette, the middle shade could also probably work as a contouring shade. But yeah, I'm interested to try this one out and see what the quality of the products are. Then I got something, I think this is first of all, I'm going to show the packaging again because this is quite funky. So this is a contouring slash concealing kind of product. So it's a double-sided product. So in this side there is a concealer. I think it's going to be more of a corrector shade on my skin tone. I think I will try that as a corrector rather than concealer. And then on this side we are having again, we shall see when I try this on my skin tone that is it actually like how cool tone does this end up being. You will be seeing the swatches already. As I said, I haven't swatched these by the time filming. I'm gonna do that afterwards, but you can also make your judgment when you're gonna see the swatch image over here that how cool tone does it look like. Okay, and then the lip product that I'm a bit sus about. So in this same collection they did have some lip sticks. These are all, by the way, this was actually their like spring summer collection, which shows that it's a pretty different kind of brand because this is quite grungy for being a spring or summer. So again, the lipstick bullet, in terms of design, this is pretty cool. I can appreciate this one, very indie design. Then the shade, so I got this because again, in the promo images, this looks to be pretty cool tone leaning, but again, you will be smarter in terms of seeing the swatch already, and then you can tell that was this really cool tone or doesn't turn a warm tone on my skin. Now, this is the only product that I have bit concerns about this in terms of the scent. So if you have a dishwasher, especially a product that you use for dishwashing with your hands, this has a very close scent to that kind of product, which I am not that excited about. So I hope the scent dissipates when you wear it on your lips. I'm still wanting to trust that it's safe for my lips and that there's nothing like that. It's just something that it's probably that they just haven't used any like additional, because in order to cover a scent, like in order to cover scents or have a sweet scent on a makeup product, you have to use like different kind of chemicals to do that. On this, I assume with this product they probably have cut the cost by the fact that they haven't used the kind of formula in this one that would cover the like ingredients that or the like formulas that are making this kind of smell weird. So just warning, if you are getting this product and if you don't want, the sort of this dishwashing soap association disturbs you when you're smelling this one, that's just a fair warning with this one. But I am still gonna like try this out and hope that when you wear it on your lips it kind of dissipates, and hopefully it's not a scent that you can taste with, because with some lip products I have had the experience that there's a very strong scent and then you can almost like taste it in your mouth when you have the product. But with this one I hope it's gonna dissipate once you wear it. So then the last product, so I got two products from cheeryep. So first one, this what I'm gonna show. I'm gonna first show that. So first one is probably something that you have seen a lot in social media if you have watched any like special channels that specialize in particularly Asian beauty brands. So this is from cheeryep and this is one of the infamous pillow unicorn highlighters. I was okay, first of all, this is probably has like all my childhood dreams of being like, I think a 5-year-old me would be screaming right now when they would see this. I was kind of expecting this to be squishy, so this is hard plastic through and through, so this is not squishy. I was thinking that this is gonna be squishy, but no, it's a hard plastic. And then we're gonna looking at the inside, so yeah, this is beautiful. I hope it's gonna be as beautiful on my cheek as it is in the pan, because this is like, wow. The Western brands and like indie brands, please take note. This is awesome. Like, what is actually this? This one may... did this have the English? Yeah, this actually has the English name. So this is the Drinking Galxy is the particular shade of this one. I think they had altogether 3 shades and then they had trios also available. But yeah, as I said, the 5-year-old me who loved to loved to put a princess tiara on would have been like screaming from joy if she would have had this one. Luckily she didn't, because she would have probably destroyed this at some point. But yeah, this is very beautiful, and for all of those who especially had your loved your pink theme things, this is at least based on packaging very pretty. And then the last product, so an eyeshadow palette, and this is definitely something different from Florasis, so I got this one, and this is the... And this doesn't. Okay, there's a pretty much inconsistency. Some of these have English names and some of them don't, but again, you will be seeing all the products listed in the description box. I was apparently on a grungier mood because the Girlcult products are quite grungy, and this also, I do think the packaging is quite cool. It's pretty sleek also, but yeah. But also the cheeryep palette that I got, this is also pretty grungy. We are gonna see once I start making looks with this one that did I do a bit of an oopsie, because as you can probably see, and this is something that I always say, that while I do adore my cool toned eyeshadow palettes, but if they are too grey leaning we might be in a bit of a trouble, because full on grey eyeshadow is not exactly something that looks flattering. I usually need something a bit more pink or moreish leaning to sort of balance things out. So with this one, when I'm gonna start testing this one out, I'm gonna be discussing then on the review how I liked about it. But I do have to say the shimmers in this one, like definitely different from the Florasis one. If that was very much like satin kind of shades, with this one there's a lot of sparkle, and I will hope that these look as beautiful on the eyelids as they look on the pans. And interested to see like how this compares, because especially I think this one is quite comparable to some of the like sort of Western indie brands that I have tried a lot in my channel. So it is nice to see like how comparable the formula is to those. Is it different? Does it apply differently? And is still how the outcome, like, is it different or is it as good as some of the other indie brands that I love? But very, like, as I said, I was in a very apparently edgy mood, which is quite strange considering that it's full on summer, and usually during summer I'm like that. I want colors, I want like bright colors and warm tones, and now we're kind of having like the Girlcult palette and this one are very like moody and edgy. But as I said, with the Florasis, we at least had a very like basic pink looking palette that is very much in line of the makeup that I usually do. But those were all the products, and as I said, you have also by now seen the swatches of the products, and I will be doing I think I will be doing what I have done with some P. Louise stuff that I have gotten in my collection, because these are all makeup products. So I will do a separate like say C-beauty YesStyle review video, because I really want to like give these their own video. So if you are specifically interested only in like C-beauty products, and you are maybe interested in generally about how I will feel about the quality of these ones, and if there are products that you've been eyeing, then I will be having like, I think the specific video is maybe a bit better than including this just in my general makeup review video. Comment down below if you have bought any C-beauty brands, and maybe if there was a brand here that I did not buy products from but you might want to see in the future, then tell us about it, because as I said, this is going to be now my second time now trying a bigger batch of C-beauty brands, so I will be interested to see how I feel about these ones, and if you have good recommendation, of course, let us know about those. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from future content. You can also find with the same nickname Makeup Hedgehog on Instagram. I hope I can see you in the video. Bye bye!